There's an adventure inside all of us. Some of us live for that adventure. Others let it take them someplace new. Your adventure begins here at Wind River Resort and Casino. Your adventure begins here at Wind River Resort and Casino.
Hey, good morning, everyone. I want to remind you there's an event going on this Friday. It is Ranches with Wolves. It is an organization that is raising money to help people who are impacted by wolves on their ranches and how they can lose money. They lose cattle as a result of all of that. And of course, Elwood Ranch and many others getting together to put on this amazing event here going on this Friday at the Cascade Theater in Reading. 5 p.m. is the pre-show out at the Cascade Theater. 7 p.m. is the concert. You've got Clara Dunn and Uncle Lucius said this is on June 27th. Go to rancheswithwolves.com. This is where you can also find out where you can purchase your tickets in advance, and it all goes to a great cause, which is the Ranches with Wolves Foundation. So be sure to check that out. It should be a lot of fun if you enjoy good music, good fun, and food. Of course, we'll be there as well. All right, we got a couple people. Actually got, let's see here. I wanted to show you this. This is pretty cool too. This is a time lapse from Lake Chestina Golf Resort yesterday. This is, of course, a camera sponsored by Elwood Ranch. And we saw the mainly sunny skies to start off the day. But then through the afternoon, this really does, and what's really cool about this camera is you get a nice close-up shot of the mountain, right? And really, when the clouds are there, even in real time, you can just see those clouds moving slowly. So you put that time lapse in there, you can really see how convection works. It's the heating of the day. That heat then rises from the surface up to the higher levels of the atmosphere, and you see the clouds begin to develop. Even in the mountains, this can happen. Even though it's much cooler in the mountains, you still get that warmth, that daytime heat, and that helps to really give us what's known as convection. Eventually, those clouds begin to take over a little bit here for parts of Siskiyou County, especially around the mountain itself, and that upper level flow kind of push those clouds a little bit off towards, well, let's see, we're looking off to, looks like it's moving off to the west a little bit here, but beautiful shot nonetheless out of the Lake Chestina Golf Resort. Here is a look at a live shot from the Lake Chestina Golf Resort, and we're seeing some clouds starting off the morning there. And again, if you look closely, you might see those clouds moving ever so slightly, but we are starting off with some of those morning clouds. And taking a look at the Reading Sky Cam here, exclusive here to Weather NorCal, Divine Sky Cam as a matter of fact. You can see some of what we call the stratocumulus, not just the typical cumulus, but the stratocumulus. Mid-levels of the atmosphere still have a little bit of puffiness to the clouds, and they are in the stratus layer of that, where we see those clouds. And also seeing some of those stratocumulus clouds from our Shasta Lake camera. This is also sponsored by Elwood Ranch, and this is the Jones Valley Resort. And I actually saw a few boats leaving out there this morning, getting ready for another beautiful day out on the lake, and looks like based on some of the smaller flags, you can see a little bit of breeze out on the lake this morning, probably picking up here later on today. There's a look at Crescent City Harbor District. We've got the overcast skies and the fog as we would expect, but I do expect to see some clearing there later on this afternoon, but you can see the visibility between 1 and 2 miles. There's going to be some patchy fog, dense fog in some areas. As I mentioned, maybe some clearing coming in later on this afternoon. Taking a look at your Krueger's Quickcast for your Wednesday, June 24th, that is, starting off with your Skeeter meter for this week. On a scale of 0 to 5 at 2.5, so kind of halfway there. And the mosquito, Shasta Mosquito and Vector Control has a lot of great advice for you. Just some of them. Items outside your home to make sure they don't have standing water. Tires, miscellaneous items, and junk. Toys, tire swings, basketball hoops, the bases can hold a lot of water too. Lily pots and water gardens, just to name a few. If you want to get more advice or just find out what's going on, you can go to you can call Shasta Mosquito Vector Control. That is the number on your screen, 530-365-3768. All right, let's get you out the door this morning. And what we're talking about here is, another foggy start to the day. In fact, we've got Jackie from Trinidad this morning. Good morning to you, Jackie. Saying good morning from Trinidad. We have fog on the coast, and of course, we saw that on the sky on the camera in Crescent City. But of course, that translates southward down into Trinidad as well. But as I mentioned, you may get to see some clearing later on today. But we still have a series of storm systems just kind of riding to our north. And yes, it's flattening out the ridge of high pressure, but it's still warm out there. So let's take a look at the HRRR forecast model. This updates every hour. And since this morning when I recorded my morning update, it was showing a little bit of rainfall, possible showers here and there in Siskiyou and Modoc County. Now, it's actually beginning to back off a little bit here, but as we go through the late afternoon hours, maybe a pop-up sprinkle or a light shower and an off chance for a thunderstorm. And I'd say the best chances will be few and far between, by the way, for Siskiyou and Modoc County, but maybe even northern portions of Trinity County as well. Then by tonight, it looks like even the clouds begin to dissipate as well. I've included a slight chance for showers even for the valley for Friday and Saturday. Bigger chances, though, as you head off into the higher elevations. So for today, another warm day, right? Mid to upper 90s in the valley. We could get close to 100 degrees. Yesterday, Redding at the airport, a high of 99 degrees. The day before that, a high of 100. So Monday was 100. Yesterday was 99. Today, about 98. Tomorrow, about 96, 97. So just a gradual decrease in those temperatures as we'd expect as some of that cooler air begins to move in from the Gulf of Alaska. Tonight, we're talking temperatures in the mid to upper 60s in the valley, mainly 50s for the higher elevations. Some of the cooler spots like El Turris down to about 49. I have included a chance for some showers in the valley. Don't count on much, if anything. If it happens, the best chances at this point looks to be Friday night, Saturday morning. But bottom line, much cooler, low 80s by Saturday, mid 80s by Sunday, and then it looks like back in the 90s by Monday, Tuesday of next week. Taking a look at the coast, inland and Trinity County, also chance for showers mainly for Friday, Saturday, all of the mountains, including Siskiyou, Modoc County, the Eastern Mountains, and including that slight chance for today. Otherwise, much cooler going into your Friday, Saturday, Sunday, warming back up Monday, Tuesday of next week. Here's a look at your fire weather outlook here, and the winds are, typical. In the afternoon, we see the winds pick up, unfortunately, especially in the eastern mountains. We're not looking at any major wind events just yet. That should change by next week, which we'll get into a little bit later in our deeper dive forecast. But tomorrow afternoon, the winds are picking up from the northwest on the west side of the valley. And then again on Friday, and even Saturday, some gusty winds at times. But the key to Friday and Saturday is lower humidity, cooler temperatures. Let's take a look at the fire weather risk. Now, the humidity is where you're seeing the numbers on the screen, right? So this morning, 30%, right? Normal. But they do drop single digits. It's going to be hot. It's going to be dry, just not so windy, but elevated fire weather risk as a result. Taking you to your Thursday, winds, as I mentioned, they're picking up from the northwest, still dry, elevated fire weather risk as a result. Higher fire weather risk too. But then on Friday, remember the winds, Friday, right? But look at the humidity, 20 to 30%. It's a very good possibility. It's probably going to feel a bit muggy out there in the valley once again. And that's going to keep that fire weather risk fairly low. Take a look at Saturday. Still around, say, 15, 25%. Keeping that fire weather risk fairly low. And this is also when we can see a chance for some of those showers, especially in the mountains and along the coast, but maybe even the valley, seeing it in the morning. All right, take a look at some of the cameras out there again this morning. Our Divine Sky Cam showing some of those mid-level stratocumulus clouds. We're seeing those stratocumulus clouds in Lake Shastina as well. This is the Lake Shastina Golf Resort, sponsored by Elwood Ranch. We've also got a new camera that's just fairly recent here, showing some of those stratocumulus clouds over the lake. And this is out at the Jones Valley Resort, sponsored by Elwood Ranch. And taking a look at Soda Ridge this morning, a different perspective looking at Mount Shasta. You can see some of the clouds out there. Taking a look at Lassen Volcanic National Park, plenty of sunshine off over the eastern mountains this morning. Taking a look at Lake Oroville. Nice little shot of the pond over there. Main Street, Chico, can't really see the skies, but if we were to take a look at Highway 99 at Neal Road, I don't see much in the way of cloud cover out there this morning either. Crescent City Harbor District, different story. You do have the clouds, you do have the overcast skies and the low clouds and fog, marine layer. I do expect it to mainly burn off for some of you later on this afternoon. Bald Hill West, plenty of sunshine out towards Hoopa Valley is looking down there. And this is out in Scott Valley, plenty of sunshine there as well. Well, as you know, Coffee with Krueger is possible, and thanks to our sponsor, Wind River Resort and Casino. At Wind River Resort and Casino, enjoy friendly service, a wide variety of specials and promotions, plus all of your favorite slots and table games. We'll have your forecast in just a bit, but first, a word from Wind River Resort and Casino.
We're ending the weekend on a high note. Join us at Wind River Resort and Casino and indulge in our Sunday brunch. 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. We're serving up all the favorites from savory classics to sweet treats. Mimosas included. Get this, all you can eat brunch for $45 with a River Club card or $55 without. Gather your friends and family for the perfect relaxing Sunday morning or afternoon. For full menu or complete details, visit windriver.com or call 1-800-280-YOU-WIN. Your adventure begins here at Wind River Resort and Casino.
Oh, I tried to get a little crazy here. There we go. I forgot to turn off the microphone. All right, microphone is on. Yep, we're good. All right. That wasn't so smooth, but we try to be smooth every once in a while. 95 to 100 degrees is what we expect here in the valley through Thursday. Relief from this heat near the end of the week. And when I say relief from the heat, for the valley, right? It's pretty warm in the valley, but even the mountains seeing some pretty warm temperatures too. Chance for showers, thunderstorms near the end of the week. Potential for stronger north winds, unfortunately, as we go into early next week. All of that, we're going to go into our deeper dive forecast here for your Wednesday, June 24th. So here it is, your satellite image. We have these storm systems that have been kind of going from west to east. What's happening is you've got some heat down over the desert southwest. And you'll notice the spin around that area of high pressure and that monsoon moisture typical this time of the year for the desert southwest. Sometimes we can get caught up in some of that, but it's not the case right now. But that bubble of heat, think of a dome, right? It can expand and get larger and larger. That expansion can work its way into Northern California. And it's done that to some extent. But what's preventing it from extending much farther over us and giving us even warmer temperatures are these storm systems riding over that ridge, preventing that really from moving on in. So again, there's that bubble of heat. There's the next system. Now, this is the one that's going to slowly migrate in our direction. And by Friday, we're looking at cooler temperatures. Instability, meaning most of the rain will be over the Pacific Northwest, but some of it could work its way down into parts of Northern California. Then on Saturday, it digs down to the south even deeper, meaning cooler temperatures. Chances for more showers, possible thunderstorms on Saturday. Now, where we expect most of that activity would be the mountains and would be the coast. But there is even a slight chance even the valley could see a stray shower as well. That then moves out off to the east. Now here's what's going to set up for next week. You got low pressure to our northeast, high pressure to our west. There's a squeeze play between the two. So these little white lines are called isobars. When we pack them tightly together, that's when the winds begin to pick up. So the flow around that area of high pressure, the flow around that area of low pressure is going to really funnel down to the valley. It's in particular where we expect to see some gusty north winds for Monday. And this pattern may stick around through Tuesday, even Wednesday of next week. We'll have to watch to see what this area of low pressure does, because if it continues to move down to the south and east, and this high pressure holds on, that could keep those winds fairly steady even into the latter part of next week. So we'll certainly watch that. Temperature-wise, looks like it is going to be warming up a bit going through next week, but the good news is more as we get near normal for those daytime highs, and I'll show you that in our 10-day trend. Right, look at the highs for today. Upper 90s for Redding, mid 90s by tomorrow. But there it is, nice drop in the temperatures as we go into Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Mid 80s, give or take. Now, as we go through next week, look at this. Yes, it's warming back up. But the normal high for this time of the year, we're getting that time of the year where it's still hot for the normal. But at least we're straying away from the triple digits. In fact, we may even just be shy of that normal high for this time of the year for Redding, with highs around 93, 94, and then maybe back up to about normal by next Friday. But you get the idea. Yeah, I mean, this is certainly where we want to be as opposed to up here, right? So we'll take it. Not bad. All right, here's a look at Futurecast, and we're going to show you that potential for showers and possible thunderstorms. Not necessarily a whole lot of action today. Now, what's going to happen is this, and we're seeing those clouds developing in the afternoon, Modoc, Siskiyou, even northern Trinity County. Now, within some of these clouds, you may see a stray shower, maybe even an off chance for a thunderstorm working its way in there as well, but mainly just a few and far between, if any. But I'd expect mainly dry conditions off to the east and, a couple of afternoon clouds there as well. By the way, the coast, seeing a little bit of clearing in some spots. Not entirely. I think there's still some spots that could see some of that fog and low clouds through the day. But I think some areas could kind of clear out a little bit here and plenty of sunshine for the valley of that south wind. Thursday, some high and mid-level clouds move in. It is showing a little bit of shower activity trying to work its way to the north and east. Not sold on that just yet, but looks like we'll have that slight potential. Friday. Now here's where, and I'm going to show you two different forecast models. This is our in-house forecast model. It's not showing much on Friday at all. All right, let's take it into Friday afternoon. Don't see much, right? Maybe a few stray showers here or there, even some dry conditions for the valley. We take into Saturday, same situation. It's just not showing much, if anything, right? Eventually, maybe Saturday afternoon, a little bit off to the north and east, and that may continue into Saturday night, but by Sunday, we dry things out. Now, I want to show you a different forecast model, and this is the European. Now, last week, the European forecast model was pretty much on par up till the day of, and was most accurate, most consistent with rain and where we ended up seeing that rain. So far, I'm kind of on board with what it's doing right now. All right, so for today, it is picking up on some of that maybe afternoon convection. All right, so we have that potential. Thursday, mainly dry. Now, Friday, what you'll notice is last week, the European forecast model was more aggressive with the amount of rainfall. Not so much this time. But it is picking up on some activity here for your Friday, mainly for the coast, mainly for the mountains, and then again on Saturday. Once again, not as aggressive. So the thing is, yeah, I'm talking about the potential for showers, maybe some thunderstorms, but at this point, it doesn't look like much. Then, as I mentioned, as we pull out here, we go into early next week, that north wind beginning to set itself up here. So rainfall outlook through Saturday, and this goes to Sunday, but it's mainly going to be through Saturday, right? Coast, higher elevations. Lighter shades of green, only about 1/100th of an inch of rainfall. A few spots could approach that 1/10th of an inch of rainfall. That's that darker shade of green. But you'll notice the valley not getting caught up in any of that rainfall, at least any measurable rainfall. But, could we see a trace in parts of the valley? Sure, it's not out of the question. It could happen. But this is not going to be a big rainfall event. What we saw last Friday is certainly going to be the more impressive of the two. And when I say of the two, of what we expect to see this Friday or Saturday as well. All right, lake levels. There you can see over 100% for that historical average. Yeah, they're getting lower, but that's normal. That's normal for this time of the year. That's why they're the reserves, right? So we're using the water to drink, to water our lawns, to, agriculture, the works, right? We need that water. So we take a look at the wave heights, and you can see they are actually dropping over the next 24 hours. No small craft advisories today, so of course we'd expect no small craft advisories through tomorrow either. Northwest winds, that is, at about 10 to 15 knots. Your waves from the northwest at 5 feet at 8 seconds, and from the west, 1 foot at about 12 seconds. All right, so here's your neighborhood forecast, sponsored by Dignity Health and Grange Co-op. Temperatures today in the mid-90s, give or take, for Trinity County. Now, here's what I've got. You saw Futurecast, even European forecast model, not showing a lot of rainfall. I'm going to throw that chance in there for Friday and Saturday. For pretty much all of the mountains, for the coast, in inland areas, Friday, Saturday. Otherwise dry on either side of that, right? Today, tomorrow, but Friday, Saturday, that chance for showers inland. Siskiyou County, I've got your chance here for today. Again, maybe a stray, few and far between. Most of you, if not all of you, will be dry in Siskiyou County. But we can't rule out that chance with some of those clouds developing this afternoon for a stray shower to develop. Same situation for Modoc County. And then we dry things out by Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and we begin to warm things back up as well. Eastern mountains, dry today, dry tomorrow, and then chance for showers come Friday and Saturday. The valley, I've included a chance for Saturday. And that would mainly be Friday night, early Saturday morning, but overall, don't count on much, if anything, for the valley. But much cooler, right? We're talking low 80s by Saturday, mid 80s by Sunday, low 90s by Monday and Tuesday. Today, about 98. Reading saw a high of 99 yesterday, 100 degrees on Monday, so temperatures just kind of slowly ticking downward, but not by much and nothing all that noticeable. You still need to hydrate in those upper 90s. You still need to make sure you take those breaks if you work outdoors, because 98 is still hot. We know that, right? Mid 90s by Thursday, upper 80s Friday, low 80s. Yeah, low 80s by Saturday. And again, just that slight chance for a shower or two. And then Sunday, we'll be talking about temperatures in the mid-80s, low to possibly mid-90s by Monday and Tuesday of next week. So there you have it, folks. It's your forecast. That's what we do here at Weather NorCal. Jeff Johnson checked in this morning, and he is saying, what is he saying? He's saying, good morning. Looks like we're in for a couple of nice days. I agree. It is going to be a couple of nice days. We got to get through today. We got to get through tomorrow, really, even. But, yeah, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 80s. We'll certainly take that. We've also got Lisa Strickland saying, good morning. Good morning to you, and good morning to all of you. I hope you're having a great day. We haven't checked this in a while. Let's check those calendars. Oh, by the way, again, a reminder, if you don't have anything going on this weekend or this Friday, this is something that's going on, Ranches with Wolves. It's basically, they raise money for people who are impacted, who have ranches and wolves. Wolves, as you know, can get their cattle, the works. So a lot of ranches can lose money as a result. So this is an organization, Ranches with Wolves, that has created a fundraiser to raise money to help these farmers and these ranchers who can lose their cattle to the wolves, especially up north in Siskiyou County, for example. But there are other areas that are seeing that problem as well. So they've got a great event going on this Friday at the Cascade Theater from 5 p.m. There's a free pre-show, and then 7 p.m. is the concert. There's going to be food, by the way, as well. Elwood Ranch, a part of it, right? We all love that Elwood beef, right? Clara Dunn and Uncle Lucius will be there, so you have some great entertainment to kind of keep you entertained, get you going, having a good time. Get your tickets now at cascadetheater.org. If you want to learn more about this organization, you can go to rancheswithwolves.com. Kind of a nice reminder there. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at our calendar. I need to do a refresh on that because it's been a few days. All right, so National Take Back the Lunch Break Day. You know, a lot of people don't take the lunch break. I do, though. I usually like to go out to lunch with friends and colleagues in the works. National Pralines Day. National Patch Day. If you got I remember that was kind of a big thing. It wasn't necessarily patches. I remember when I was in high school, it was cool to have a jean jacket with a bunch of buttons. Like you put those buttons on. Yeah, it was fun. National Parchment Day. Okay. Some of these days you got to be like, really? Okay. National Swim a Lap Day. All right, maybe I'll get my pool and swim a lap, which is not a very long pool. So maybe 3 or 4 laps to kind of match a real lap. Just a kind of a way to exercise and really low impact, right? If you want to get that cardiovascular going, well then go in the pool. It's a low impact form of exercise. We've also got Debbie Ann. Oh, the whole time I'm looking at it and I'm talking about thinking like you're seeing it too. So there are the days, right? Take Back the Lunch Day, National Patch Day, National Parchment Day, and then of course National Swim a Lap Day. I was supposed to show you that while I was talking about it, but I didn't because, one-man band here and, sometimes I forget to push a button. And I'm looking at it right here. I should see what you're seeing as well. So I don't know why I didn't think to push the button, but there you go. All right, well, what do you say we call it a show, wrap it up? We've got Debbie Ann saying thanks and have a nice day. I hope you have a good day and I hope you all have a good day as well. We'll see you right here tomorrow morning at 6:30. In the meantime, you can always check the latest forecast at weathernorcal.com. The free Weather NorCal app and the 24-hour channel available on Roku. and anywhere YouTube is available, including your smart TV. You can watch me on your TV, folks. I've had people say, I miss you on TV. You don't have to. You can watch on your TV. Does it matter what's, where that signal is coming from, whether it's from the airways for TV or whether it's coming from digital where you can on demand watch me on your TV. That's even better. You can watch it whenever you want. I do 3 updates a day, morning, noon, and evening. You can always check that latest forecast. So be sure to check that out throughout the day. And again, we have these live shows Monday through Friday typically, and you can watch it live. So there you go. We got Katie, who is saying thank you for keeping us updated. Absolutely. That's why I'm here. That's what I'm doing this for. And I'm so glad to have kind of branched out on my own so I can give you the information on my terms. Nobody tells me how to do it, where to do it, how to do it, and whether or not I should freak out over, something that I shouldn't freak out on, like the over dramatization of the weather, right? We don't love that. So I just give it to you straight, folks. That's what we do here at Weather NorCal. And the team is growing. Yeah, right. We got Chase Wilson in the weekends, right? He's been doing weekends for me for several years now. We also got Aurora Murray, meteorologist Aurora Murray. She does weather for me from time to time. And I've got something in the works in the background. I'm not 100% sure if it's going to pan out. We'll see. But there's a potential for some more growth here at Weather NorCal, more talent. All right, how's that sound? Give me a little bit of a break. Wouldn't that be nice? Especially when the weather's slow. All right, folks, that's going to do it for us today. Enough of that jibber jabber, right? Let's get you to some of these cool cameras that we have here, including the Divine Skycam. Have a great day, and we will see you tomorrow morning right here in Coffee Krueger at 6:30.